Yeah.
We have our own accounting system, and we process we get our tax revenue deposited that account, we pay our
Yeah.
bills.
Your operating budget is roughly $1 million.
Yeah, and whatever date you looked at the county fund, that was our checking account balance in the county fund.
Yeah, that's all I have right now.
Okay. Other questions from board members? Okay, I'll go to public comment, public input. Please fill out the salmon-colored form, step forward. Please present your name and keep your comments to 3 minutes. And it looks like the first speaker will be John Graff.
John Graff, representing the Employers Council of Mendocino County. It's pretty apparent that the fire district will get an impact fee, but there was a few concerns that we would like to put in front of you to think about before you all make your final decision. In the past couple of years, I've sat in quite a few of these meetings where we've hired consultants and they come in and they give us comparisons to other cities or counties as a means to justify increasing fees, creating new fees. One thing I'd like to share with you at this point is a while back in your inclusionary housing meeting, they referred Petaluma as one of the best examples of making the inclusionary housing program work, and they use that as a comparison why you all should consider it. I want to remind you now that Petaluma's cost to build one home before you hire a contractor or get your permit is $80,000 in impact fees. And why I'm going to that is because we have to be careful. Our county is in an economic crisis, whether we all want to admit it or not. And every time we add something to the cost of building a home, we make it that much tougher. We're affecting the consumer, we're affecting the contractors and everybody involved in that industry. You know, it's obvious that they're going to have an impact fee, but we have to be careful with it. I question whether the administration fee is proper. You're collecting money from these people in order to allow your fire district to grow. They didn't recommend that you hire a consultant, so why are they paying for the administration fee so that you can collect money from them? I would also like to share that RDA money, if we were able to get our county in the right economic direction, RDA money would be able to be spent on fire stations. You wouldn't have to have an impact fee for fire stations. Keep in mind, you know, this is another fee that we're adding to a price of a home, and there's a proposal on the table for the inclusionary housing fees to be somewhere in the neighborhood of an average of $40,000 per house. So you might want to look at this and go back and figure out where your entrance is going to be to when you start collecting these fees. You might want to question the admin fees and try to look at the situation as a whole, what we're doing with fees, and not just an individual fee. Thank you. Any questions?
Thank you, Mr. Graff. Other members of the public wishing to speak to this item? Okay. Seeing no one step forward, I'll close the public input, public comment section and bring it back to the staff for any concluding items, comments.
No, I do want to add, just in response to Mr. Graff, that the admin fee also, we do have to do an annual review of it and submit an annual review to the board, as well as every 5 years, the county ordinance requires us to go out and revisit the study that we'd completed to make sure that those figures are accurate. So there's some added staff time as well as the consultant fees that we're trying to recoup in the admin fee.
Okay. Okay, to the board, questions of maybe Mr. Graff or the staff. Supervisor Pinches.
Just a further comment, you know, the governor's proposing right now a insurance surcharge to help fund fire services. So that's another additional cost that homeowners are probably going to be faced with. I just want to bring that fact up. And that surcharge, what they're proposing, is going to be considerable on homeowners.
Okay. Other questions from the board? Okay. Hearing none. I'll close the public hearing, bring it back to the board level for further discussion and/or action. What is the wishes of the board? What is the wishes of the board? Supervisor Smith?
Through the chair, I'll go ahead and move the recommended action.
Okay. There is a motion before us to approve the recommended action. Is there a second?
Second.
There is a second. Okay. Discussion to the motion, which is recommended before us. Supervisor Pinches, are you leaning there?
Yeah.
Okay.
My first kind of comment, more than a question, is if this is good for Ukiah Valley, why isn't this good for the rest of the fire districts in the rest of the county? Why wasn't this brought as a
County council.
countywide proposal?
Every fire district has the ability to do what Ukiah Valley has done. The problem is, I think for some fire districts, is to study.
Right.
You know, coming up with the funds to
do the study.
to begin the study that's necessary in order to do the resolution.
Or
So
is
every
it,
fire district, and they're all aware that they have the ability
yeah,
to
or
do
is
this.
it that most of them feel that they're fine with their operating budgets that they have now?
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
That's me laughing. Mr. Chair,
Please, Chief.
Mr. Pinches, some fire districts will tell you, talk to Chief Tunzi at Comshe, there's no growth in Comshe. There's no way they need a fire mitigation fee. Are they flush with money? Give them a call. They aren't. So some of the districts that are no growth, slow growth, the amount of money to do the study, it's just not worth their time and effort. You know, I've been here 12 years seeing the minor subdivisions, major subdivisions coming through, the planned developments within Ukiah Valley Fire District, as long as the county doesn't give that away to the city, is going to impact the fire district. So we knew going into that we'd probably be the first one out the gate, and we are. You know, we're looking at Hopland probably next, but still they've got to accumulate some funds to be able to do the necessary study, and that's the biggest stumbling block. As county council says, they're all entitled to fire districts or community services districts that provide fire protection are governed by this ordinance. But you ask any of them if they're flush with money, and it'll be a no with some expletives.
Supervisor Smith.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I think the issue that the chief raises and that county council commented on is something that the board later, for our ultimate responsibility of fire protection in the county, is going to have to grapple with, because as you're saying, it doesn't pencil out for those smaller districts. I know that the Piercy looked at it. Piercy looked at how could they use this model to move forward. There was just no way that it was going to work for them. And so they just, muddle through and continue to go forward with the resources that they can get. So I think that we're going to have to take a look at that in terms of, what is it that the county can do to support those outlying districts. So clearly it is a game plan and a strategy and the ability, if you will, for more urbanized areas that have sort of that core potential for both development, and they've got the core resources. So it's going to work for Ukiah, but it's not going to work for the outlying districts. So I think we're